And so the very things that maybe doesn't like about her are the very things that attracts him to her. And he is telling her, listen, I love this about you. But notice too in this, the wordsmith here, Tower of Lebanon. Tower of Lebanon faced towards Syria, and it was a sign of defense. It was a sign of security. And basically what he's saying is your countenance is security. I feel like it's national defense when I'm with you. Now get this. Ladies, is your man safe with you? When you are not in his presence and you are talking about him out in public, how do you talk about him? You ever been in that life group where where a lady just starts to talk about her husband in unflattering ways and just starts going on and on? Look at that guy in that moment and just watch him just shrink. Do you think she's a place of safety for him? No way. One of the things I absolutely adore about Nicole is this. I know that she has my back. I know that the things that she's not going to hurt me with her words. The things I say to her, the things I do together, that she's not going to talk bad about me in front of other people. And I love that about her. I can feel safe with her. I can tell her anything. And I know she's not going to go yipping away to everybody else. There's certain things that are just secure in our house. And it builds the trust. Proverbs 31 says this, a wife of noble character, her husband trusts her. Verse 5, your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. It's the crown jewel or the beauty of the land of Israel. It's kind of the crown jewel of Israel. Is your wife your crown? Proverbs 12:4 says, a wife of noble character is her husband's crown. One of the best things about me, honestly, is Nicole. When I came out and candidated for this role here, I was so excited that I got to bring Nicole with me. I'm not really great at meeting new people. Just pulling back the curtain, being honest, it takes me a little bit to warm up. I usually listen a lot when I first meet new people, but Nicole, man, she can come in and just have a conversation with anybody, and I'm always like, she said yes to me, right? Yeah. But no, there's a certain thing. I love it when people meet Nicole because they get to see her character and they get to go, oh, wow. Well, there must be something good about him because she said yes to him. And that's how I feel about her. She's my crown. Your hair is like a royal tapestry. The king is held captive by his tresses. She has long hair. The king is captivated by her here. Verse 6, how beautiful you are and how pleasing, O love, with your delights. Your stature is like that of a palm, and your breasts are like a cluster of fruit. I said, I will climb the palm tree, and I will take hold of its fruit. May your breast be like clusters of the vine. It's always nice when the text speaks for itself. The fragrance of your breath is like apples. The breath smells nice, and your mouth is like the best wine. What is he saying in this passage? He's saying, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. You're an incredible woman. You have been visually generous with me. I am safe with you. I love you. Let's go for it. That's basically what he's saying here. Remember, this key. This is good. This is pleasure. This is good. This is meant to encourage and to build up each other. The key here, though, visually generous, verbally generous. She is visually generous with him. He is verbally generous with her. Now, this is an example of marital freedom, but a quick word here before we move on. Some of you in here are stuck on the verse in chapter 6. And you're like, well, wait a second. What kind of dance was this? And here's the thing you got to understand. This is a descriptive passage. This isn't prescriptive. In other words, you can't go home and, hit your wife over the head with this passage. Look at chapter 6, verse 13. Look at chapter 6, verse 13. Because if you do that, you've missed everything else in the passage. You've missed the tenderness that he portrays to her. You've missed the way in which he gets to know her and the knowledge of her. You've missed the way in which he praises her and esteems her and holds her in value and calls her his crown. You've missed the way in which he treats her and loves her. And you've jumped ahead to the part where she is free. But there are steps. And remember, this is descriptive. This isn't prescriptive. Do not take this passage and go home and beat your wife over the head with it. The principle here is sound, though. The principle here is this. Wives, be visually generous with your husbands. Husbands, be verbally generous. Help him to develop a hard drive full of pictures of you. Redeemed images of you. We're talking about a husband being captivated by his wife. Proverbs tells us in chapter 5, it tells me that I'm supposed to be captivated by my wife. Now, verse 9. Verse 9, I finished a little bit, but here we go. And your mouth like the best wine. Here's an interesting device that happens. He starts the verse, she picks it up for him. May the wine go straight to my lover, flowing gently over his lips. It's an incredible literary device here. Basically, he's talking about her mouth being the best wine, and she is saying, yes, I'm in. Okay? What's happening here is her responsiveness to him is growing. It's deepening. There is a responsiveness here. She is thinking his thoughts and feeling his feelings and saying, yes, I'm with you on this. Verse 10, I belong to my lover, and his desire is for me. Desire here means to consume, means a passion. Let me ask you this, ladies. Do you see the sexual needs and desires of your husband as a nuisance, as a duty? Not this wife. Not this wife. There's a passion here. And she shares that passion. She says, listen, not only is my kiss wine, but I'm the best wine, and I'm the only wine for you, and let's go. Okay? She has a responsiveness to him in this. Verse 11, come, my lover, let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages. Let us go early to the vineyards to see if the vines have budded, if their blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. She's saying, hey, take me away. Let's go on a retreat. Let's get out of here. Let's act upon these feelings. Her desire for time with him has deepened. She wants to be with him. She wants to spend time with him. She wants to connect with him. I don't know about you, but I don't want a typical suburban marriage. You know, one in which the fire just burns out over time. You know, there's two things that are never mentioned in this book: his career or their kids. Why? Because marriage isn't supposed to be built on what the man does, or marriage isn't supposed to be built on who the kids are. Marriage is supposed to be built on the two of you together and investing in those relationships. What happens to the kids? Eventually they leave, and then you stare looking at each other going, who are you? Take time to pursue each other. They're still dating in this text. Years later, they're still dating. They're still pursuing each other. They're still in love with each other. Watch what she says here. Verse 13, the manrakes send out their fragrance, and at the door is every delicacy, both new and old, that I have stored up for you, my lover.